Culkin baseball news for December 22nd, 2031. Coming up on the winter meetings, which is a spot where the AI, mostly, gets to do a lot of wheeling and dealing for a few days in the winter. The AI is going to do a lot more trading and a lot more free agent bidding, so the human GMs need to take advantage of that or be aware of that. Also, it's the time when the human GMs have to set their ticket prices for the upcoming year, so be aware of that. What happened this week was a lot of free agent signings. None of the super big guys that are left in the off-season list. Off-season center number one is still Norman Mailer, who's still out there. He's got interest from Erebor, Daggerlad, and Grey Havens. He's asking for $16.7 million in a 6-year deal, and he's 33. Instead, what we got were a lot of smaller signings, including Henrik Simpson, the shortstop. Minas Ithel picked up Henrik Simpson, who played for Carrick last year. He's infield whiz. He's great at second, really good at third, really good at short. Not a huge bat, although he hit pretty well last season, hitting .271. He used to be fast back when he was with the Slayers. He hasn't shown any kind of stolen base threat for a few years, but he's going to be a good addition to the Worms. Also, Moria picked up Rivendell's ace, if they ever had an ace, but the Rivendell Royals ace for probably the last, let's look. Well, yeah, since 2021, he's actually, since he started pitching in 2021, he's been in the starting rotation since 2025, so the last 6 years. I don't know what Moria, if they're going to throw him straight into the rotation or not. His biggest concern is he led the league last year with 48 homers allowed, but he's still a positive contributor, and he's still just 30 years old, and he's a couple of times All-Star. Daggerlad picked up a center fielder, Gaiman Whitehand, 29-year-old. Whitehand has been with Isengard for a few years. Decent outfielder, decent hitter. He ought to be a good addition to the disaster outfield. Tavseen Loma-Brilder was picked up by the Dead Marshes Uruk-hai. He's pitched with the Hops and with Rivendell the last couple of years. Not super great as far as his results are concerned. He's had an ERA up over 5 the last 2 years and lost more games than he's won. But if you look at his ratings, he's got really good ratings, and his WAR for the last few years has been really good as well. So let's look at his strikeout to walk ratio as well. Yeah, his strikeout to walk ratio is really good. So not quite sure where that ERA is coming from. Bad fielding, I don't know. We'll have to look at that, but Dead Marshes can definitely use him in the rotation. Donatherian Ainer, who was with Buckleberry for years and years, he was actually their first baseman quite a number of years ago, full-time, but he hasn't been in a long time. Last year he spent most of the year down at AAA. He hit really well down in AAA, so Erebor is going to give him a shot. He was with the Dragons last year. And shortstop Solilbo Lomambor, who was with the Misty Mountain Hops for a long time. He was their starting shortstop for years. Dunharrow picked him up in 2029, and he's done well for them too. He's a really good infielder. Not a super great hitter, but decent enough to keep him around, and he's definitely a good infielder, although he made the All-Star team a couple of times, 2024 and 2026. Other than that, we had a trade. Rivendell sent Kidney Dragger to Lake Town. The Royals traded away Mimsh Kidney Dragger in order to get a minor league second baseman, Sirbag Dryadgobber. Kidney Dragger, been with Rivendell for a while. He's a reliever. Pitched a lot of innings. Not terrible. Not great. Although he's got really good ratings too. And he's had a positive WAR for the last 3 years. Looks like they tried to use him as a closer a couple of times. Or at least he racked up some saves a couple of times. So Lake Town's going to use him in their bullpen. Meanwhile, they're picking up a minor leaguer who is a really good second baseman. Really good fielder. He's got potential for some home run power. Scouting reports say he's a decent, not spectacular hitter, but he's got tremendous raw power. So he can start getting his contact up, then he might be good in a few years for the Rivendell Royals. And like I said, it's the winter season, so everybody needs to get their let me pull it up here real quick and tell you exactly what it says. Teams need to set their ticket prices for next season. Prices cannot change after season tickets go on sale at the end of winter meetings, which means the next sim. So by the time the next sim hits, you need to have your ticket prices set for the year. That's it for this edition. Talk to you later.